Hey there, my name is Rob Frawley, and I'm here alongside my co-host Noah Giberson.
Hello.
And Emily Costa.
Hi.
With a very exciting special episode of Fax Machine, a podcast by and for people who are curious about everything, but especially the things that make them laugh. Now this week, we are in part 2 of our mindless mini-series of quiz.
Nice.
Why mindless, Rob?
Well, because, Noah, we refuse to talk about the brain.
Oh, man.
And I know, and you know, Noah
I
loves
do.
brains.
So much.
He's got
It's
a whole brain thing going on. He likes brains so much, though, he got us to do an entire brain show at Caveat live with Dr. Paula Croxton of Columbia University, and now we all have to go.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Go, brains,
I
go!
don't know
Go,
how I
brains,
managed it,
go.
but whatever.
But so while we are very excited to be having a live episode at Caveat, we refuse to let Noah have the win on this one. And so if you listened in last week, you heard Emily's inspirational lung quiz.
Oh, I thank you.
But this week, things are going to get tough. Because, as you know, in a normal episode, we would go through 3 facts, each of us discussing them in depth, related to a common theme, and then have a quiz loosely inspired by that theme. But this week, the loose inspiration is organs that we like, but Noah doesn't.
Oh, man.
And we get to do...
Whoa. I never said I didn't like your organs of interest.
Nope, Noah's very anti-bones. I've heard him say
I'd like
it.
to see how far you get without lungs. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you wouldn't be able to see anything without a brain.
Doesn't matter if it's not oxygenated.
But so, since this is no regular episode, we will be doing an entire episode bone quiz. Quiz is all about the bone and skeletal systems and the things that make me very happy.
You may remember also from our most recent live show at Caveat, where it was the Halloween-themed live show where Rob had a whole bone fact there as well. So you may do well on this, or maybe not. I mean, of course, I don't know yet if you listen to that episode. So if you feel like studying, you should go back and listen to our most recent episode, episode 35, A Science Seance Live at Caveat. And maybe that'll help you bone up on the bone facts. Make no bones about it.
There you go.
And before we get started, Noah, you've been keeping it quite a secret. What are you going to do in your quiz episode when you're not allowed to do about the brain?
Well,
Hold on, I said that really dumb.
when you're not allowed to do about the brain. What would I do if I'm not allowed to do about the brain?
I've got to fix that preposition pile
Okay.
up really quick.
Well, I have been keeping it a little bit of a secret, but the guidelines that you both gave me were that it couldn't be about brains and
Right.
it had to be unpleasant for me to research.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's only fair.
So that is what it's going to be.
Okay.
So next week, I hope you don't eat before you listen. No, it's not going to be that gross. It was gross for me. It will not be. Maybe I just won't say this.
Yeah. So tune in next week for Noah's mystery quiz about something he doesn't care about.
Well, it's more that I just don't care about it. I actively disliked having to research it. Yeah,
Appetizing.
right.
There we are.
All right.
So don't eat before you... He said appetizing. It's back in.
Well, with no further ado, though, are you guys ready for a bone quiz?
I'm sure it will be a bona fide success.
That's nice.
Nice.
I had a pun. I am sticking to it.
Yeah, so my quiz is loosely inspired by bones,
Okay.
and we'll see how we do. All right, first question. In 2011, when Mike Myers hosted SNL, he reprised his role of Wayne on Wayne's World and did an Oscars movie set, in which he told the audience that he didn't even make up the name of what snicker-inducing movie title starring Jennifer Lawrence in 2010.
The Lovely Bones.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's the answer.
It's not.
I mean, sorry. And what I meant by that was Winter's Bone.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know what The Lovely Bones is.
It's a book, actually.
That's a book, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
No, I was like, oh, it's a movie. Oh, sure.
and it was
okay.
like a book in the late 2000s. So
Right.
like,
Yeah,
Is
and
that
it was a
pretty much
bestseller
right on?
and
What is
all
Lovely
that,
Bones
yeah.
about?
oh, I don't read that
Oh,
shit.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. Anyway, what I meant to say is Winter's Bone.
Yes, that's the one.
There we go.
I knew there was a bone.
But yeah, so I don't know if you guys saw. I loved this SNL skit because
No, I didn't.
it was basically like Wayne's World did the Oscars picks, and so him and Dana Carvey were sitting there in costume, and they're like, "And this movie, we didn't even make up the name. It's Winter's Bone." And they're just laughing hysterically at like a not funny, but like they made it very funny. And then I never saw.
I'll take your word for it.
And I never saw Winter's Bone, so I wanted to use it in the quiz in a way that it was meaningful to me.
There you go.
Winter's Bone, though, is a movie about Jennifer Lawrence living in the Ozarks in like some kind of tribal American like fighting situation.
Huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
like
Intense.
post civilization ishness,
Oh.
according to the Wikipedia blurb that moused over as I was on my way over here.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, question number 2: Billy Bones is a character of what coming-of-age novel originally published with the author's pseudonym Captain George North?
I don't know. I don't know.
I have one particularly helpful
Okay.
hint.
Well, let me ask.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is your hint, but if we may, what is the era of this coming of age novel?
Let's see. It is terrible
Why did
noises.
you make those noises? No. Was that your answer?
No, I'm trying to put it in like words instead of numbers, but it's
Okay.
I would say 1800s.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What's your hint?
My hint is this story was made into a movie several times, perhaps most famously with puppets. Not exclusively with puppets.
So
I know it. It's Treasure Island
Yes, and why?
because of the Muppets.
Yes.
and by because of the Muppets, I mean the only thing that got me that question is the Muppets.
that,
You were right. That
That
clue
makes
did
sense.
help a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, Billy Bones is a character. He's an old sailor in the inn where James Hawkins, the protagonist of Treasure Island, was working. So Billy Bones is a pirate. You're led to believe, and he has this valuable thing in his room in the inn, which is a treasure map. And so in Treasure Island, this marauding group of pirates come to find him to get the treasure map in order to find Treasure Island. So he, knowing that the pirates are coming, gives it to a young Jim Hawkins in order to run away. In the Muppets version, he is accompanied by Rizzo and Gonzo.
Rizzo.
Yeah.
Like from Greece.
Yes.
Is Treasure Island and Greece set in the same universe?
I think so,
Oh,
yeah.
that would be amazing.
peachy
so-
keen, jelly bean.
So they take the red Corvette all the way into London. All the pink ladies are waiting.
Well, a Corvette is a kind of ship. Also.
that's right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
wait
very
a minute.
possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so, yeah, they sing a whole song and they escape. And Billy Bones, in the real story, he dies kind of at the hands of the pirates, I believe. In the Muppets version, that's no good. So instead, he has like a little bit of a cardiac arrest. Like, oh, my heart, I can't. And his dying words, he's like, Jim, remember this. And he says something about the map. And Jim's like, okay. He's like, and Jim, remember this. Don't go running with scissors or you'll poke out an eye. And he just dies.
It's great.
So Billy Bones.
Billy Bones.
And Captain George
R.I.P.
North. Yeah, Captain George North was the pseudonym that Robert Louis Stevenson originally published it under.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yes. So, question number 3 is my next installment of my new recurring series, taken from the words of Pulitzer Prize winning author Kendrick Lamar.
I got a bone to pick.
Yes, thank you, Kendrick. So, in this segment, I'm going to ask you to identify a bone of the human body that fits the criteria that I'm describing.
Okay.
Okay. What human bone shares its etymology with the place where Christ was hung to die? So, do you want me to tell it to you in Aramaic?
Yeah, if you LOL,
Yeah.
I know you said that once.
But it was called in Aramaic Golgotha,
Yes.
which is
No, that's not
Golgotha.
real. The Golgotha bone.
for me that has this like knee-jerk
Yeah.
reaction where it's like, oh, Golgotha, this.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
remember,
No.
but I know I'm going to know it when you say it. Can
Okay.
you just tell me?
Yeah. So in the Bible is Golgotha, or the place of the skull.
You know what?
Oh. So wait, no.
I was full of shit.
It's not
I
the
didn't.
skull.
Yeah.
It's like skull and
Is
Golgotha are
it
not
Now, here's the-
Calvaria?
Yes.
the what?
I mean, that's the skull.
Yeah. And so
And also, I would never, ever have known that, except that in our last live show, Rob asked a question about what bone has the greatest like tensile strength, and then he was like, and then I gave the right answer, but before he saying the answer, he was like, "Does anyone in the audience know?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I'm a fucking dumbass." And then they were like, "The skull." And he was like, "Ooh, Calvaria, no, actually, Noah was right."
I just wanted to draw them in. I wanted to give him a
No,
chance.
and I understand and appreciate that. But I just wish for once you would draw me in.
There's 2 tiebacks here that I would like to make before doing that. One is, so the place of the skull in Aramaic is Golgotha, but in Latin and Greek, it's Calvaria.
Ah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is why in a lot of kind of like modern, when you read the Bible, it was also called Calvary, the Hill of Calvary,
Oh.
which is a super important Christian reference. So a lot of cemeteries and funeral homes and kind of old age homes have the name Calvary because it's the place where Christians die.
Not to mention, it's the place that horses can charge down the best.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that.
Cavalry?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Calvary.
Yeah.
Cavalry.
Yes.
Not the same shit.
So what do you say? What does mine say?
Horses VL.
Okay.
The cavalry.
Christ LV.
Yeah.
The cavalry rides through the
Calvary.
cavalry. We're there. This is our new warm up before
Yes.
each episode.
Nice.
now.
So you're saying horses are VL.
Yeah, there are vowels.
sure?
There are vowels in the way. Cavalry.
Okay.
Right,
So
like
it's
cavalier,
Cavalry.
Yes.
Okay.
To caval.
I was like,
On a horse.
okay. One who cavals.
But like because that root is actually a horse, like
Yeah.
caballo
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
and other
Like
other
cabal,
languages.
because B
Yeah.
and V are very
Yes.
And calvus. Actually, calvus is Latin for bald.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you can see your skull.
I guess, yeah, because you're just like a skull
Oh,
head.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is there anything? Why is it called a skull cap in Catholicism? The thing that priests wear,
Oh, so
like a yarmulke for
yeah.
Catholics.
For the same reason, it's bishops and the Pope wear a skull cap basically under their mitre as a way of kind of just. It's actually used in Catholic Church much more as like a symbol of status.
Oh.
But it is meant to be a deferential thing to say like, I wear this because I should not expose my head to the Lord.
Right. And I don't want everyone to know that I'm
Gone
bald.
really bald.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a white or pink bald spot cover.
Bald Scott. It's a little known part of the Catholic liturgy. Is actually the legend of Bald Scott. So Bald Scott.
Pontius Pilate's right hand man.
Yeah.
Question number 4. What opera contains the song "Seems like these bones don't give me nothing but boxcars tonight"? Or more succinctly, yeah.
It's not in English. It can't be.
Or more succinctly, it's often called "Roll Them Bones."
Porgy and Bess.
Porgy and Bess. Yeah.
That's an opera.
Yes.
And also, what is that?
An opera.
That's an opera. Is that not
Gershwin.
like
It's
just
a
on
Gershwin
Broadway
opera.
or something?
No, well,
It
it's
is
an
the
opera.
it is the American opera.
Yeah. So
Okay,
It is
but-
our
it's
opera.
in English and it's sung, so
If
you
it's-
might be
if
like
it's a-
musical, but
Yeah,
it's an opera.
If it's in English and on Broadway, it's a musical. It's not
But it's
an
not
opera.
It's not on Broadway though.
It's not a no.
It's
an
like
opera.
Well,
it's
not
written
anymore.
as an.
Oh my god. Let us have this one opera. It's the only one we have. Let
It's
us
not
have it.
like Figaro.
But it is.
That was
Yeah.
good, right?
It was
Yes.
nailed it.
It is, that is how it is. You know the song Summertime? from that.
Summertime,
from that.
living's easy. That
Yes,
song?
it's from that.
For real?
Gershwin.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been
thought I was
much
kidding.
covered.
There you
Nope,
go.
that's the one.
I thought I was kidding. Turns out, I played myself.
Yeah. About 45 seconds after that song ends, "These bones don't give me nothing but boxcars tonight" starts. Like they are like back-to-back scenes to start off the opera. So it's at like the people are singing about the summer. There are workers on a dock and they're playing. Okay, so the second part of this question is, what are the bones in this song? Looking more at Emily now.
Say it again.
So, oh,
These bones
Damn it.
seems like these bones don't give me nothing but boxcars tonight.
see if I had gone when it was at the Met this fall, then I would have known.
It's still
Okay.
on. It's still running.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's all go.
Oh, I mean,
Can we go anytime we want? Is it every night?
You have to
Do you
buy
have
tickets.
a-
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's buy tickets and go.
Yeah.
I have a Met student membership. I can
The fuck? You guys are so cool.
hang with us, kid.
I don't
Learn
even.
some things.
Oh man. Yes.
Learn a thing or two.
Let's go. Let's do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can
been a while.
I would love to.
I think that would be really awesome.
This is a real turnaround from what's that?
I think
0 to
I think
100.
I've been very clear that I am both
Noah.
ignorant and also interested in learning new things. It's just the problem was I wasn't interested early enough not to be ignorant during this podcast.
Yeah. Noah, you never go to Broadway shows. Why are you starting now? But so to
So
know
the bones.
to know what the bones are, actually, the other weird word in that sentence that seems odd is really helpful because it's a term of
Boxcars.
yeah,
Boxcars,
because it's a
yeah.
term of slang used.
Feet.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's not to my knowledge.
I haven't seen it, so.
So it's a phrase that's used in a game.
Okay. Ooh.
Mexican train.
Wonderful game.
So the bones would be like the playing pieces.
Yes.
Okay.
And then think about where Porgy and Bess is set, time period, what's available.
Yeah.
They're like not playing like Monopoly.
Emily, what are those things, just so that listeners know?
I don't know. Is it is it a board game that is still, I mean, like has been commercialized or what have you since that
Oh, yes.
I
So
would know about? Okay.
there are probably commercials on television that could use the phrase boxcars, and there are many games that utilize these playing pieces. But the game they're playing famously is like, okay, it's,
Oh, are they like die?
Yes.
And the boxcars are an arrangement of the pips?
yep, exactly.
Oh.
And so boxcars is double sixes because it's
Oh,
just
so
two
it's
rectangles.
craps. I see.
Yes, they're
Okay.
playing craps.
There we go.
Exactly.
See, that I wouldn't have known. So that was teamwork.
Yeah, and then the other kind of nice.
That was a good one.
That was actually good.
The other kind of famously
Emily's been
named.
fucking up high fives all night.
I have just been holding them to my usual high standard.
But the other thing you can roll that has like a name that I've known for like from playing Monopoly with my dad, who I guess is really down with old timey lingo, is if you roll
Seems like it.
if you roll
That's where it comes from.
but if you roll 2 1s, you know what that's called?
Snake eyes?
Snake
Yeah,
eyes,
snake eyes.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
snake
that's
eyes
everyone knows that.
So how does everyone know that, but no one knows boxcars? That's crazy to me.
Wow.
Because boxcars are just sixes.
But
Who cares about sixes?
you have the same odds of rolling double ones and double sixes. They both have a cool name. Everyone knows snake eyes, and no one knows boxcars.
Yeah, but nobody looks at like a boxcar and they're like, "Wow, I should probably stay away from that."
Yeah.
I mean,
think
I guess
snakes are still
you don't have
present.
I'm saying
Boxcars less so.
you don't have a fear of hobos, Noah.
No, I'm a Democrat. No, I'm just saying that, like, I think there's a inborn fear of snakes that's gonna make that a more salient, like.
Yeah. You are
Stimulus.
evolutionarily programmed to be
Yeah,
afraid of snakes.
you guys
Not
clearly
so boxcars.
Didn't have a 200 square foot train layout in your basement growing up.
And you were afraid of the boxcars?
boy.
That sounds like torture.
You were saying, by the way, you're afraid of boxcars. Good point, Emily.
Why would you volunteer to play with trains if your phobia is
Wait,
boxcars?
did you have siblings?
No.
No,
No,
well,
I,
was
I
gonna
just
say-
had trains. All right, question number 5. First developed in East London in 1748, Thomas Fry's Bow Porcelain Company created what type of ash refined dinnerware?
China.
What type of china?
Fine
Bone china.
Bone
Oh.
china. Yeah, that's it. Good
Oh, Emily,
call.
was this your trivia night that introduced me to this?
Well, it was it was in the elements thing.
Yes.
So it was our
think.
first live show.
Yeah.
No, it was in-
phosphorus.
Oh, no.
But no?
Bone
No,
china
no,
was
it
a
was-
question.
No, I've
It
talked
was-
about
it
bone
was
china
about-
some other time.
It was in an alleyway trivia night.
Was
Like
it?
in the bar.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
that far back.
Yeah. Just for anyone who doesn't know, Noah, Emily, and I used to host trivia in a bar across the street from Emily's apartment called the Alleyway. No longer exists. Rest in peace.
It was
And-
also my apartment
yes,
at the time.
that's true. Noah did live here. I lived in this building once too.
This
but-
building. We are also in this building.
Yeah, where we are sitting in Emily's apartment.
Yeah.
There you go.
But in the bar across the street, all 3 of us were trivia hosts for like a total of 8 years. I think we spanned. And in one of the nights Emily hosted, I remember her asking a question about Thomas Fry's bone china, and I had never heard of it.
Damn.
But it is porcelain made with up to 45% of the porcelain material is bone ash, usually from like large skeletons, like whale bones and other like large mammals that they could obtain to use the bone to make this porcelain material. And they sold it for much higher prices. And it was a
Yeah.
British China company. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sold as fine porcelain.
Yes.
And it goes, so it's illegal now.
Yeah.
I believe. But so like
Well, now it's just made out of sustainable human bones.
yes, exactly. I
No
mean,
short supply.
they could probably make it out of just any other animal bones, but so like whalebone china specifically, like if you find a set like at an antique trade show or something, it would sell for a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah, it's rare.
Question number 6. It's a true or false question. True or false? Bird bones of the same size would be lighter than mammal bones.
Yes, because they're hollow.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
But is that?
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, of the same. Wait, we're not done yet.
Yep.
Of the same size.
So same dimensions,
Wait.
same length, width. Like if you could find two bones that like had the same were the same externally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're hollow, but okay. So here's the question: there's a lot of space inside bones that's just marrow.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So I wonder how much that really weighs relative to just like all like the calcium.
But also, is it possible that their bones are structurally different in that the bone tissue is denser, so that it would weigh the same, even if it actually internally were more thin to
Interesting.
allow for these air pockets?
Well, it's not.
I do not know that.
Well, no, but that defeats the purpose of being light,
Well,
I would imagine so, but
right?
he's-
Unless
he's
they had a
being
different
too
structure that
quiet.
made it. What was the question? Heavier or stronger?
would it be lighter?
Lighter.
Lighter.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like bird bones have to be lighter. So I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're also smaller. Except some birds aren't smaller, but those
Right.
birds don't fly.
But that's the thing. If you could pair the bone to bone, so it's not a size thing. That if
So
you found the exact
it's
same
also
size
lighter
bones-
and also has wings. That's kind of another thing. It's like it can generate upward force way more obviously than we can by flapping our arms
Yes.
relative to the bones it has to carry. So
Yes.
based on all the context clues, I'm gonna say heavier.
okay.
Wait, whether they're heavier?
So that's a potential out. If the statement is false, it could be because they're equal or heavier.
Let's not overthink it. Let's not overthink it.
I thought the conclusion that was just reached was that they were lighter, but sure.
Well, what I'm saying is that if they were the same, so the whole point of bird bones being hollow is that they're light enough so they don't carry extra weight. But most birds, but not all, are smaller than humans. Some that are bigger than humans, and I'm saying, and also humans can't fly. Some that are bigger
Yes.
than humans can't fly, like emus, right?
Sure.
Ostriches, right?
Sure.
Some that are quite large, like condors and vultures, can fly, but also have massive wing apparati that can
Yes.
like provide a lot of upward thrust.
Yes.
So what I'm suggesting is that their bones might be equal or even heavier, but there are other things that counteract that they just then I don't know.
Yeah. It's a good stumper of a question we got.
My guess is lighter. I'm just
All
gonna
right,
go
I think
that.
we go with hollow bones. We're not trying to overthink it. But he wouldn't ask that. That's like a thing everyone knows that their bones are hollow.
But maybe he was anticipating this exact, rigmarole that we just
The
had.
old double swap.
Okay, here's what I'm
Exactly.
going to do. I'm going to recuse myself from this question, put it all on you, Emily.
There you go.
All of the glory and probable failure
Wow.
because I'm scared of the way Rob has asked this.
You
I'm putting it
are-
all on you. You get all of the glory.
Excluding yourself from this narrative.
Yes, I would
Wow.
very much like to be excluded from this narrative.
Wow.
I love this discussion, you guys.
Yes.
Like in class, this is a thing we do where I'll show someone something and they'll tell me what it is, and I'll say, "Who thinks it's not this?"
Yeah.
And then a lot of kids will raise their hand, and I'll say,
Yeah.
"Why?" And they're like, "Because you wouldn't ask otherwise."
Yeah, you have quite a good poker face because I bet
Yeah.
it's going to be lighter
Yeah.
and you just fucking psyched me out.
So in class, it's usually the thing the first kid says, but
Yeah.
here it is not. Believe it or not. So
Okay.
the idea that bird
Heavier?
bones
Lock it in. Heavier.
equal or
Wow.
heavier, we
You
could
took
say.
yourself out of the game. You
Oh.
can't
Yeah.
win anymore.
It's about and like really the story is that they're roughly equal because of the offset I'm about to describe. So
Sure, yeah.
bird bones are hollow. In ways that other bones are not. But the reason for that is not the kind of commonly held belief that they have to be hollow to be lighter to fly. Right? Birds generate a lot of thrust, but once they're in the air, the size of the bird is kind of irrelevant. Like their
Okay.
wingspan and the weight of the bone is not that much different compared to the thrust.
They do a lot of flapping to get off the ground, but once they're there, they just have to maintain their altitude.
Yeah, many birds will glide. And
Yeah.
so the other thing is that their bones, if you see the wing bones of birds are very thin and long. And so like the size and shape of the bone kind of is what makes it also lighter. Like they are kind of lighter per size of a skeleton, but the bone itself is not necessarily like per cubic unit of volume. The reason that they're hollow is because they're pneumaticized, which means that there's actually, Emily, a lung-based function in these bones.
Oh no, shit! I read
wow,
about
what
this.
a
Yeah.
twist.
Matt
Yeah.
Wait, you
Weddle-
read about this, Emily?
A little bit. Or I started reading about it a bit as a potential question, and then
Okay.
veered into lungfish.
Yeah.
And fell in love.
So Matt Weddle of the University of Cal Berkeley says that as baby birds grow, air sacs that make up its lungs invade the bone space and that form a bunch of very tiny hollows. And those air sacs will stay attached to the bones for the bird's entire life, which increases the tidal volume of like what birds can breathe. So they use the bone space to kind of hold more air, which is useful when they do a lot of really like anaerobic activity, flapping really, really quickly, wrestling something, like being super athletic. So because of the forward and backward arrangement of air sacs in the body, it gives them this kind of superpower, which is that when birds move, they take oxygen in as they breathe, and as they exhale, those muscles actually will cause new air to come in. So they're kind of breathing in, whether they're exhaling or inhaling,
see.
which is really, really cool.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And as I forget where I found this kind of write-up, but as an article notes, being able to do this means that they could probably play the saxophone better than Kenny G.
Even better than Kenny G?
Can you imagine? Last note is that because birds do flap a lot, there's a lot of stress on the bones of the wing, and they would be more brittle if they were just hollow and lighter. So they actually are denser around the cortex. Like there's a lot of density so that they are tougher and can kind of withstand fracture.
Okay.
I feel like everything I learned when I was a little kid in that like one lesson about birds was just wrong. Can you imagine that's such a thing?
Well, I mean, this study, like this whole idea is not like, oh, we've known this for 100 years and we've been teaching it wrong. It's like this bird guy was like, is that really what's going on?
Yeah.
And like not that long ago, he published
Right.
a study that was
That
like,
makes sense.
yeah, and like 2006 was when he first started posting about bird bone density,
Right.
Like really academically. Question number 7: in the mid 1900s, in what country would you find rib music on the black market?
Rib?
Oh, Russia.
Whoa,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know about this?
Yes. So our first episode that we ever recorded, I wrote like a quiz that was too long and had one question that was
Wow.
like very deeply about this exact story.
The first episode we recorded?
Incredible.
But Rob wrote the quiz for that.
Well, no. So I was under the impression that we were each writing a quiz. I should mention
We hadn't fully discussed.
that was yeah. So I had
Good
a
format.
quiz and then was like, okay, goodbye rib music, but now it's back.
Wait, but how was rib music related to marathons, which I remember your fact being
It
about?
was, well, the Olympics.
Oh, yeah. There was probably, because in the 1980 Moscow Olympics or something?
Might have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you about rib music.
Yes.
Which is, and feel
Okay.
free to jump in. I love this. This is one of the coolest things I've ever, like, kind of come across by accident. Mostly, like, kind of started in the 50s and 60s. Rib music refers to the practice of taking recordings on vinyl and then transferring them onto X-ray film. Like, etching them into X-ray
Yeah.
film.
Used X-rays, hence the rib music, because they would have
Oh.
images on them.
And then you
cool.
could ship the X-rays with medical stuff.
Oh, this was like during Soviet
Yes,
times where it was
like
like, you wear-
USSR.
So these
Yes,
would be
yeah.
like, I don't know, like American music especially.
It'd be the Beatles. It would be
Right.
like Western music that was not like played in Russia.
So if you got like a X-ray from behind, that's what you would like, and you were just like this sort of thorax from the posterior side. That would be back in the USSR.
Yes.
Took me a while to get there.
There you go.
I
Yep.
admit.
Yeah.
but exactly. And so there are these like still like existing X-ray sheets that were I think they were shipped as the squares. So they looked like convincing medical X-rays. And then when they got there, there's like a little spot in the middle around which you would measure the diameter and you would cut your circle and you could play it on a record player.
Yep.
So you would put this X-ray film on a record player as if it were vinyl.
So the idea is that you can etch into the material that X-ray film is made out of in the same way and play it in roughly the same way that you can on vinyl.
Yeah.
What is X-ray film made out of? Is it vinyl?
Probably, yeah.
Some sort of polymer, at
Yeah,
least.
it's-
Yeah, definitely. Some
Because
sort
it
of-
feels
yeah.
like having seen like vinyl printers, like
Yeah.
it must be like that's the stuff we put in, and I must have different like photo properties, obviously, but
So how did people realize that?
that they could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, back then people made shit by hand, so like there are a
Yeah,
lot
but,
more
okay,
people.
well, frankly though, like the people who are making shit by hand and thinking like, whoa, what can I rip a disc onto? I mean, that's sort of more like 90s to early 2000s.
Someone had an idea.
yeah,
Walked
but where
by
are they
a
getting
hospital
the
dumpster and was like,
X-rays? A medical dumpster.
Yeah, I mean,
because they would toss them out, like, for patients. I don't know.
Yeah.
Presumably, with
I mean,
patients
yeah.
like passed away or whatever. Like,
because if a guy
I mean,
if a guy in a record factory had a brother who worked in a hospital, and he was like, "Damn, I can't ship my records to Russia where our cousin Stan lives," and the other his whole family,
Cousin.
Stan is short for Stanislav. Yeah.
Stanislav, yeah.
and then the two little girls running in the kitchen
probably
singing the
why.
Beatles, and you're like, "Oh, I love this Beatles song." So would Stan.
A couple years ago, a guy basically like encountered this story and created this really awesome website featuring recordings that he played from found rib music films. So you can go on his website. I should pull up his name. We'll put it in the show notes. And listen to the Beatles, Ella Fitzgerald, the Rolling Stones, like just played from these discs. And I mean, they probably don't sound that different, but I feel like they're a little bit extra haunting just knowing their source.
And just watching someone's like thorax spinning around on the record player.
Yeah, that's
That's good.
All right, we've made it to question number 8.
All right.
Question 8 is, this is a cool one that I just came across through a friend of mine. What school's biolab skeleton, named Dooley, safeguards the spirit of the school?
I know it.
Yeah.
It's Emory.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no particularly interesting reason why I know that. It's just that I used to work in college admissions, and one of the people that I worked with later went on to work for Emory admissions, and Dooley, their skeleton, is on everything.
Yeah.
That is entirely the reason. So
Yeah. I mean, so Emory University in Georgia probably should have a mascot of like a walking can of Coca-Cola, but
Yeah, probably should.
But for whatever reason,
or like the CDC, just like a big old. It's literally on its campus.
yeah, just like a walking health bulletin.
Yeah.
But so right now, Dooley is named Claire E. Dooley. They take
Yeah.
the first name and middle initial of the current president. But the spirit of Dooley has been this lab skeleton that protects the school spirit and has for many years. So if you go on Emory's website, they list Dooley as an administrator.
It's really good.
Titles: Spirit of Emory, Lady of Misrule, Schools: Emory College of Arts and Sciences, and Oxford College. So apparently Dooley is like a real big party animal.
Yeah.
Because courses taught: Spring Break 101, office hours primarily spring. And then what's amazing is the number of honorary degrees Emory has bestowed upon Dooley. But they have an MDP in 2016, a DPT in 2014. I don't know what any of these letters mean. So just like, because they got through all the real ones early. Like, Dooley got the PhD in liberal arts in 2003, a BS in nursing in 05, a JD in 06, an MPH in 07, an MD in 08. Dooley was busy. But he graduated actually, or she now, Dooley.
Oh, because of Claire.
Yes. But got their bachelor's in 1899 and then waited 103 years to get their MBA in 2002. So
Wow.
kind of chilled for a while.
I mean,
Probably technically.
you know, when you're in the field and you're working, and then finally you're like, should I get an MBA? I don't know. Things are pretty good. Maybe I'll wait till the right time. And, you know, it's been 103 years.
And then you
you're like,
blink,
whatever.
and then 100 years pass, and you're like, ah, okay.
Yeah.
Fine,
Well, he
yeah.
can't
Now
blink.
or never, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how he went to MBA without a liver, but. All right, that's
Good.
my quiz.
That's great.
Nice.
All right, thanks for listening. If you want to check out any more content, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Fax Machine Pod and on Facebook at Fax Machine Podcast. And we're on social media. I'm at SweaterVestSCI, Noah,
At Arcs and Sciences.
and Emily.
At _EM Costa.
Fax Machine is produced by Rob Frawley, Noah Giberson, and Emily Costa, with editing by Noah Giberson. The theme music is by AC Antonelli, and our logo is designed by Mike Zola. Thanks, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.